Okay, I think that ads are over now. So, let's get going with this. I think I might have done I did a lot of my dailies yesterday. Yeah. Already visited Plankerton. But that is okay. I think y'all will live. Yeah. I think I even hatched my nest last night before I went to bed. You might say, why are you here at this time if you were up so late? And the answer is, I don't know. But here we are. Okay. Bringing up my tablet to monitor. Oops, I'm gonna punch my microphone. I like to leave bring up the stream on my little tablet so I can see how it looks on different devices and if it is dying. I don't think I bonded with my familiars yet. I was doing things on my phone and I don't like going through and bonding on mobile because it's more of a hassle than it is on PC. But I might grind the Coliseum for a while because I still won't need a bunch of event chests and I want event currency so I can buy like a bunch of copies of the jeans. Okay. Familiars not awakened. Let me see. Cute. Copper file. Keeper. Yeah, you're not on anyone yet. Yeah. I thought it might be that one that's not on a dragon, because I think the other one is, or I'm pretty sure I remember that, unless I've maxed it since I last marked it. Look at this guy. I recently have been working on some meat dragons, but I actually like how top coat works on this. And underbelly is the other one I've got going on for that pair, because top coat and underbelly are the same rarity. And then these guys are cooked. Cooked meat. His girlfriend isn't done yet because I'm now poor. Because I've been buying a lot of jeans for my jean projects. So I still need to buy stained for her. But I've completed 3 project meaty boys and girls so far. Did I show y'all my Mothman dragon? I've put all my moths on him. Her, sorry. So it was just too good to pass up. You would not believe how many project dragons. I mean, I made a bunch of meat project dragons, but I've made some other project dragons as well. And so I am perpetually poor right now. So that's why I gotta do my Glimmer and Gloom, which I keep not doing. But streaming this game holds me to it. And you can have a boar. This one I just got the other night. Adorable baby. I don't know. Still has a basic tertiary. So once I finish bonding with my familiars, I might look at what I want to do with that. But I gotta finish this first or I'll never remember to. I hatched this guy a while ago and I was like, I'll sell him. And then I changed my mind. I was like, no, never mind. You're staying home with me. It's the second time I've hatched a elemental gaze dragon. And the first one I kept because it was the first time I'd ever hatched one. And the second one, I just couldn't give up. This is my other meat dragon who I still need stained for. And that's a guy who's for sale. Oh, goddamn. All right. Nice. So we'll get Glimmer and Gloom going. Which means I need to pull the solver up. Where? Oh, there it is. Cool, cool, cool. The game, very hard. And then I have been debating what I will want to do after I get done with my flight rising for the time being. And the option is Stardew Valley, which I haven't played since I haven't been streaming. I've been waiting for y'all. Or I also recently acquired Helldivers, And I have some people who might want to play that with me today. Although I do have a bit of a headache. I've just been headachy recently. And that makes me even worse at video games than I already was. So we shall see. And of course, I am willing to listen to chat input on this. If there's something that y'all would rather see. You're like, excuse me, you promised to play, I don't know, something. I've also been thinking about, getting a little bit back into Overwatch because I do wind up missing that occasionally. Like, it's not that bad, surely. And then I play it for a bit and I'm like, oh no. No, yeah. It's still bad. But sometimes things that are bad can still be fun. I can just mute other people when they're being toxic. Oops. Here we go. I've wound up getting a decent amount of new games recently. So we'll be going through those eventually. As I've said, I did get Song of Horror, and one of the other games by that developer, made of Skur, I believe. Though I could totally be pronouncing that word wrong. So I've been meaning to play that one on stream. If that's something y'all are interested in. Otherwise, I can just play it in my own time. I have a bunch of games that I've been meaning to play either on my own time or when streaming for friends on like Discord. I bought all the Stalker and Metro games that I've been meaning to play off stream and just haven't gotten around to yet. And then of course I have some multiplayer things that if my mods or anyone wants to play with me, it's always an option. I got content warning for Helena the other week. I was gonna say the other day, but it was a bit longer ago than that. And I did mean to get back to streaming sooner. But I came down with the flu. And that knocked me out of commission for a good long while. Oops. And I've also been taking care of some new small reptilian friends, which if you're in the Discord, I posted in the pets channel earlier today, or just a little bit ago. So they've been keeping me busy. Because I went to get them settled in properly. And I didn't want to announce them before they finished their quarantine time, just in case the worst happened. But luckily, they both seem very healthy. I took them to the vet for general checkups after I got them because I would rather be safe than sorry. But the vet said they looked great, very healthy. And so I wasn't too worried while we went through quarantining, and they're still doing all right now. But we now have a small little gargoyle gecko yearling who is very cute. She is, well, we don't know that it's a girl, but I've been referring to her as a girl. The breeder said she was a probable female, but of course it's hard to tell definitively before they reach a certain size. So her name is Ying Ying, or Echo, for the people who can't say that. I don't even know if I can say that properly, but I'm doing my best. And then also brought home a rat snake baby, probably also a yearling, though I didn't get his precise hatch date from the breeder. And he is a cave-dwelling rat snake, which is native to Malaysia. And so he is also very cute. They're both still a little bit timid, but we've begun the socializing process. I didn't want to muck with them too much when they were still settling in, but now we're starting on that. And the boy, we've confirmed, he is definitely a boy. The breeder said he was a boy, and then when I brought him to the vet for a health checkup, then they also confirmed that he's a boy. So there is that. And his name is Ripley. I don't remember if I said that or not. But he is a little bit timid, as the beauty rat snakes are known to be. But he is not too bad so far. He's been exploring his new house. He was in a small enclosure during quarantine, which you can see in the pictures I posted in the Discord. But once he got out of quarantine, then he is now in a little bit of a bigger enclosure. So he's been enjoying that. And getting a bit more confident. So when he's coming out and about, I've just been opening the enclosure and bringing him out when he seems like he wants to explore. And so far, that's been working out all right for me. He's still, like I said, timid. So I've gotten a lot of tail wiggles of I am a very scary rattlesnake 100% from him, which is very cute. But he's slowly learning that I am not, in fact, going to eat him. And the gecko is I'm a little bit less experienced with socializing lizards and geckos. So I feel like that's a bit slower going, but it's hard to say. But she's been doing all right so far. For that, she's a bit timid. A bit timid when I'm reaching into the enclosure or anything like that. But once I get her out, she seems to be okay. Like, she doesn't yell at me or try to bite, but if I reach for her in the enclosure, she'll try to run away. But we've been working with her on that, and so far, it's been working out all right. I've been coaxing her out onto my hand with crickets. So when she wants to eat, I'll try to coax her out and try to get her to walk on my hand on her own when she wants the bug. And she is a little fierce little hunter. She loves her insects. Though, so far, I've only really given her crickets. I did try some black soldier fly larvae with her, and she did not like it. She bit it, she held it for a minute, and, you know, little brain processing, not enough RAM. And then she spat it out definitively. She was like, no, this is not my thing. And then after that, I tried a few more times to see if it was just that one that she hadn't liked for some reason. But she did not want those. She was like, nuh-uh, I'm not putting that thing in my mouth again. So I was like, all right, you know, that's if that's not your thing, that's not your thing. So she's been getting crickets. I know she would eat dubia roaches, but things that are referred to as roaches are not a big, not gonna fly very well in the house. I'm not really allowed to bring those in. So crickets. And I've been thinking about getting her some hornworms, because she might eat those. But I'm a little worried, like, what do I do if she doesn't? Because I don't actually have anyone else that would eat them if she didn't. So there is that. So that's been my hesitation. So I'm like, what do I do then? Do I just like kill them if she doesn't eat them? Because it's like I can't exactly just dump them out, you know? Like with the snakes, if they don't eat their mouse, then it's fine if I get frozen thawed, obviously. If they don't eat their frozen thaw food, then I can kind of just like bury it out in the yard for the raccoons or whatever. But that is not a thing I can do with random insects. So that's been my hesitation when it comes to diversifying her diet. And I've actually thought about getting a second gecko, not just for that reason, but that's definitely a consideration I've had, because that would make life a bit easier as far as food goes. So far, she is also in a baby enclosure. She's about 14 grams right now, which is baby sized. Well, yearling sized. But I do have a larger enclosure set up for her that is bioactive. So I've been letting that, I don't know what the term is, cycle? I mean, it's not a fish tank, but that's essentially what it's doing. So I'm been adding plants to that and making sure that the temperature and the humidity are stable in there. But it's not done yet, and she's still might be a little bit small for a bigger enclosure. She would probably use the space, but it took her a while to find her food dish, so I'm a little hesitant. When she goes into her larger enclosure, I'm going to set up multiple feeding stations in it, just to make sure she can access food. Because she does not have the most brain cells. She loves insects. She'll munch on them immediately. last night, I opened the enclosure to replace her Pangea, her powder diet, and she got all excited and she ran out. She was like, crickets? And then she was so disappointed that I didn't have crickets for her. And at one point I was like, okay, well, if you're out and about and you're excited, then maybe I'll let you see, me. So I put my hand up kind of near her through the glass, so she could see my hand, and even if it wasn't like reaching for her, inside the enclosure. And she was like, "Oh, are you giving me a bug?" And she like, tried to nip my finger through the glass because she was expecting it to be an insect. But instead, she got a mouthful of substrate. She just ate dirt instead. And I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. This is my fault. She was not thrilled to have eaten dirt. But I am glad that she's a little bit less. She's getting more comfortable. So she will come over and look at me when she thinks there's food. She'll come out instead of staying hidden or like freezing or running away. If I open the enclosure, she's like, wait, hang on. When the enclosure opens, that means food is coming. Although she is not a fan of when I spray down her enclosure every night so she has water droplets to drink. She does have a water dish as well, but I also spray down the tank to help with humidity and also give her water droplets to drink off of her foliage and the walls of the enclosure. But she does not like when it rains. None of my pets like when I spray down their enclosures. They're like, what the fuck? Ripley probably minds it the least. He's pretty tolerant of it, but he will usually move away if water gets on him. But he's adjusting. With Mori, it really depends. She used to despise the sprayer, but nowadays she's a bit more tolerant and will just got that HP. Yeah, no, I can't do that. A goopy baby salt. I'll decline on fighting things like that. Ugh, fine. Alright. God damn it. Nope, we're starting over again. Also, that's valid. Sometimes the ADHD do get in the way. Sorry for my sudden prolonged silence. There was suddenly background noise and people were talking, and I did not want to accidentally dox myself because people do not realize that voices carry very loudly into my room and can be picked up by my microphone. And yeah, no, we're not doing that. So if I ever mute suddenly and don't talk for a while, that's probably what's going on. Mostly I'm doing fest grinding, but I'm also kind of trying to get these guys up in level a little bit. Because they're so close. Well, not really. They're getting kind of close to max level. Because they're going to be trainers for different arenas. I don't remember what they're called. Venues. Coliseum venues. Like I said, they're getting close to being max level, but they're not there yet. And usually when I've been in the Coliseum recently, it's been to level fodder. So, you know. Alright, give me 1 second. My phone keeps vibrating. And so I'm going to change my notification settings, and then we are good. Those last few levels take so long. I know, right? I'm like, I cry. It's like in the amount of time it takes to level those last few levels. It's like, do you know how much fodder I could level in that amount of XP? Like, this is unreal. But it'll be nice to have a Darklight Ruins in Crystal Pools trainers. Yeah, it'll be nice. It just takes so long. It's funny because I got commissioned a long while ago to raise a dragon to max level, and it only took me like a couple days, but now when it's my own dragons, I'm like, but I don't want to. I like to do fodder in one slot and then near 25 in the other just to appease my brain. You know what? That's a good idea. I've been being like, well, since I want to train so many of these, because I have so many that I need to get up, I should just do it like this. But maybe I should toss fodder into the other slot, so that way I can be tucking some more fodder away into my hibernal den while I work on this. Can go 1 to 25 in 2 to 3 days for someone else, but for me it takes at least a week. Right, I've been working on these for like months. They're still not done. I'm also grinding a little bit for event stuff because I've gotten 2 chest drops so far. And I'm like, please. So, I know there are better venues to grind for event stuff than this one, but if I'm gonna be grinding in the Coliseum, it might as well be for leveling. Although I do need hibernal den items, but eh. I've gotten like 4 chests, which is low for the amount of grinding you've done. Right? They just aren't dropping. I know so many people who are like, no, yeah, I've just not been getting any. I got an eliminate drop before I got any chests. I'm like, what the fuck? I've only gotten like 1 eliminate to drop before. I'm like, crying. Going to 25 is painful anywhere except the mire. Exactly. That's the thing. Also, do you like my little invisible guy here? I got that apparel from the Grand Exchange. Not apparel, yeah, that apparel. It looks like this from the Grand Exchange, and I was like, I love that. That's gonna be so good in the Ghostlight Ruins. Though I also feel bad because it's like he's such a pretty dragon, and I made him fucking invisible. Of Marva Cloak Trainers, right? It's like, on the one hand, I love it like that, and on the other hand, I'm like, but he's a pretty dragon underneath there, too. Sometimes I wish you could have different apparel sets, like when he's just in my lair, then he could look like normal, and then when he's in the Coliseum, he looks like this. You know? But I know that doesn't really make sense. Still there. You're just having some fun for now. Yeah, exactly. It's also a little bit like I bought him from someone and, you know, he's their little baby and then he's fucking invisible. Though I doubt they check in on the baby, and I had him for a while after. I didn't do this for a while after I got him, so I doubt they know, but You know what I mean, right? You can save outfits, but you can't, like, auto-equip them. Yeah. I think I made the music a bit too quiet there. Because I don't want the music to, overpower me, but I do want y'all to be able to hear it. Okay, since you're 23, I might swap and try to do a fodder in that other slot. Let me see if I have any that I want to use. Oh, these guys are so pretty, though. Okay, you're a little ugly. But, like, look at these guys. They're so pretty. I have so many dragons that I'm like, I know these will wind up being fodder eventually if they don't sell, but, like, you know. I've been thinking about making this one into fodder even though he's kind of matchy. Because I'm like, he's not selling. This one I'm like, this is absolutely a fodder aesthetic, but I'm not fodding him myself. This one is also pretty. In my eyes. I'm sure it's clashy in everyone else's eyes. And then, like, the fancy ones, I'm not gonna fod. Because, like, why the fuck would I? But I did finally list these two. I forgot to put them in the auction house for a day or two. Because I am a gremlin and I never remember to do anything. Whoopsie doodle. That ain't what I wanted to do. Lottie is such a cute name. I don't know. I do not know. Spooky. Sure. Just gotta check sometimes. Oh, come on. And you accidentally hover anywhere near your taskbar, and it's like, here's the news, here's the stock prices, and I'm like, I literally could not care less, and I didn't want that to show up. Like, literally fuck off. How dare you dodge me? I'm having some nice chai tea, which is, I'm sure, surprising to all of you. That was at a weird angle. I could not tell what that was. Probably a spiral. Chai is good. And I wanted something with a nip of caffeine. Because I do have a headache. And I took some Excedrin, but I also want to, like, hydrate and try all the other things that sometimes work. Do it! Coffee is good. They're kissing. That's what I think every time those fish are like that. I'm like, they're kissing. But I don't say it every time because I know that would get old so fast. Yay! Right? Speaking of fish, so as you may already have known about me, I'm always going through like little research binges where I'm like, oh, this kind of snake is so cool. And like either I want one someday or, but I don't think that's the right snake for me personally. But recently, first off, I've been looking at Angolan pythons, which are so cute. They look a lot like ball pythons, actually. But clearly they're not. Here, wait a second. Whoops. Come on. Are you kidding me? So they look a lot like ball pythons, but they're not. Clearly, look at the difference in coloration and patterning, and the head shape is a bit different. Their eyes are huge. Look at how big their eyes are. They're so pretty. And their scales are a bit different. They're kind of, I don't know. The shape is a little bit different. And they're from very arid areas. Like, look at that texture. They're so scrunkly. I love them. But they're not very common in the pet trade. But because, like, you know, it's kind of been a civil war in that area. So, people didn't really get out there and harvest wild caught ones, and so there aren't a lot of captive bred ones either. But they're very pretty, and they're a bit less docile than ball pythons, but they don't food strike as much or go on food strikes as often as the ball pythons do, which honestly for me is the biggest draw. I'm like, because I love ball pythons, but I would be so stressed. Like, it's so stressful when your snake doesn't eat. It's like, what are you doing? And so they're great to me. I love them. So I've been researching them. But their enclosures are on the drier side. So that might not necessarily be a good fit for me because I have a lot of snakes and reptiles that are from humid areas. And so the room where I keep my reptiles is not as dry as they would likely need because I keep the humidity higher in there, so it's good for all of the reptiles I have that need 50% plus humidity. Now I'm like, maybe I could make it work. But probably not. But they're so cute. So I've been looking at them and researching them because it's just so interesting. I love learning about new snakes. So that's one of the things I've been doing or looking into. But the other snake I've been looking at that's like, I'm like, for a long time I was like, no, I couldn't get one, but more recently, even if you don't end up getting one, it's fun to learn about them. Right? That's the thing. But one of the other snakes I've looked at before, but initially it was like, I don't think I could do it. But recently I've been more like, maybe I could do it. Is the false water cobra, which, as you might be able to guess from the name, is not, in fact, a cobra. It's a false cobra, which means that it hoods up like a cobra, but it is not actually related to cobras, and is not so venomous. So the false water cobra is a little bit venomous, but like rear fang venomous, which like hognose snakes are also rear fang venomous. So largely it's like if they really gnaw on you and get, to the back of their mouth and do get their rear fangs in you and envenom you and like all that stuff, like they would have to work to get there in the first place. So it's unlikely. And then also the only real risk from their venom is if you're allergic to it and have an allergic reaction to the venom, would be the biggest real concern as far as that goes. But they're really interesting to me, because they're super intelligent, and oh wait, what am I doing? I was like, I could swap back to the other guy, but I'm like, no, he just reached level 23 as well, so like it's fine. I was saying they're very intelligent and very interactive. And they're one of the snakes that people say like really recognizes their caretaker, and people feel like they bond with you well, which a lot of reptiles are like, they'll learn to tolerate you, but you know, they're not exactly enthused. And like a lot of false water cobras can be like that as well, you know, less friendly ones. But even they, like, I've heard people, I heard one story where someone was like, my snake gets all excited when I come in to feed it. But one time they wanted to do a video showing the snake eating, and so they got their partner to come over with the camera to film while they fed the snake. And the snake was like, nuh-uh, no, nope, no way. I'm not gonna eat while there's people I'm not comfortable or familiar with in the room. Which I thought was interesting. But as soon as the extra person left, it was like, okay, it's go time. Bring me that food right now. So really neat. And they have a very broad, diverse food intake. That's one of the things that's interesting about them. They're, you know, it's called a false water cobra. So obviously they really, really like water. And it's interesting, you can feed them like fish. And they love that. And so you can give them like raw store-bought fish, like salmon, and that kind of thing. But I've seen videos of people buying like feeder fish from the pet store and then letting their snake hunt them in the water. And that's always so cool to me. I think Cribos are similar in that sense. First of all, they'll take like anything. There's a diverse diet you can give them. And they want to eat a bunch of smaller prey items frequently. But in this scenario, we're talking about the false water cobra. Because Cribos, I adore Cribos. They're so interesting and cool. They're another snake that is highly intelligent. But the bond that people say forms between a caretaker and their false water cobra is what really intrigues me. Because Cribos are one of the snakes that I adore, but I don't think I could personally care for. And false water cobras are also one that I've always kind of been like, yeah, I don't know that I could do that. Because they need such a diverse diet and feeding more regularly, and you know, so many different care requirements. They need like a really big water feature in their enclosure, like a large water dish, that they can kind of really get into if they want. And like, you know, the rest of my snakes need water dishes large enough to soak in, but false water cobras, as big as you can get it, they want it. So that's one consideration. But I've been like, maybe maybe I could someday. And I'm like, well, if I did get one, I'd want to really make sure that it was cared for. And I was like, how would I do that? And I was like, you know, if I got one, I could just raise my own feeder fish, you know, like guppies or whatever. Have a tank of guppies to care for and let them spawn, and then occasionally take some and let the snake get some enrichment via hunting. But I'm also like, I do not have the capability to care for fish tanks aren't really something that I can I don't know, keep alive very well. You're just gonna become fodder. I'm so sorry. I'd have to buy water because our well water does not serve itself well for fish. And with how regularly you need to do water changes, that really doesn't feel sustainable. So I'm like, I know how I would want to care for it, but once again, I don't know that I could actually manage that. The in-depth care that I would want to offer, you know? But again, I'm like, maybe someday. And as I said, there's a lot of snakes I feel like that about. Like cat-eyed snakes are another type of snake that has always really interested me. Or mangrove snakes, as some of them are called. And they're super cute. But and they're also a rear fang venomous snake. Where their venom isn't pleasant, but it's not really harmful unless you're allergic to it. Like some pain, swelling, tingling in the affected area for a couple days. But they're another snake that's very, I don't know, timid. And they do not take to being handled well at all. which is less than optimal when you have a reptile that is also somewhat venomous. So people say they're really a display animal and not really handleable, which would make me sad because I like being able to interact with my reptiles. So yet again, a snake that's really interesting to me, but is unlikely to suit my my caretaking strategies. I did see one at an expo at one point that was super chill. And handleable. And I was like, man, you know, maybe I could, but it was also a wild-caught long-term in captivity snake, and I just don't like to support wild-caught snakes. Like, I understand why it can be necessary for the industry, especially if it's a less common reptile and you want to diversify the bloodlines and all of that, because like I think it's what we know as sugar gliders, there really weren't a whole lot imported into America for the pet trade, and so basically all of them are incredibly inbred because there isn't enough diversity in the bloodline, which negatively impacts their health, obviously. So it's like sometimes if you are going to keep an exotic animal, you know, in the industry, then more wild-caught ones to diversify the bloodline can be, you know, a good thing for the pet trade overall. But, you know, as long as it's not decimating the wild populations, they're kissing and that sort of thing, then, you know, it's understandable. But I personally am not interested in bringing home a wild-caught reptile and dealing with all of what that entails with potential parasites and, you know, unhandleability and just generally the amount of stress that wild-caught animals have on becoming pets. Once again, I don't think that's really the right route for me. So, animals that are in the pet trade, but like 90% wild caught, it's like I can't get wild caught. Just doesn't work for me. Not to say that I haven't occasionally thought about getting a pair of some species or another, and breeding myself to help flood the market with captive bred, rather than wild caught animals. But I'm not so sure I'm ready for the adventures that breeding entails. Anyway, that was a long tangent that I didn't exactly need to go on, and yet here we are. Recently, the animals I have been thinking about getting is I've been looking at geckos since I'm a bit more comfortable now that I have the one. Then I think that adding a second one to my nightly caretaking routine would not... It's like taking care of 2 geckos is not actually harder than taking care of one. Right? They're so cute. So that's something I've been thinking about, especially the New Caledonian species. Oh my god, you motherfucker. As I've said, I have a gargoyle gecko now, but you know, there are various New Caledonian species that I could get that would not actually add to my workload, if I'm taking care of it. So I've been looking at those. Motherfucker. Of course, crested geckos are the most common, and they are super cute. I almost got a crested gecko, but ultimately my girl was the best pick for me at the time. But I've been looking at various other species. Leachianus geckos are intriguing. The gargoyles are dear to your heart. Right, they're so cute. I love them so much. They're so scrunkly. But I've also been looking at, as I said, Leachianus geckos and Chahua geckos. As Chahuas are very slow moving. They don't do as many of those flying leaps of faith, as do the crested and gargoyles. And they're super pretty. They look like, they kind of look like lichen. And then Leachianus geckos are giant, a type of giant gecko. They get to be fairly large, more so than, you know, cresteds and gargoyles and chewies. And when they're mellow, they're really nice and handleable because they're not quite as small, so they're a bit less fragile. But if you get a mean one, then because they're bigger, they have more bite force. So I'd want to check the temperament. Although having said that, one of the other gecko types I've looked at a lot is tokay geckos, which are known as little demon creatures. Most often they're wild caught, which is part of the reason for their reputation. Because they have a great bite force. They're when they don't want to be handled, they can make it quite painful. But they're so cute. And I've never actually minded being bitten by lizards and geckos. I'm like, yeah, I understand it's a thing that can happen. My girl tried to take a munch out of me one time when she thought my hand was a bug. I was like, no, baby girl. My hand won't fit in your mouth. And it literally didn't. She couldn't even actually bite me because her mouth is too small. She just kind of like went near me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made you think there was food here. Who else should be fodder? Probably you. You or you. But you match. You kind of match, but not as much. You're not as conventionally pretty to most people. Rock. Bilbo. Sure, that's a cute name. But, well, I think I do really like 2K geckos, and I would love to have one. They are insectivores. So, they only eat bugs. So for them, food diversity is even more important because they are basically only eating bugs, so it's kind of cruel to say only feed them crickets. You'll want to mix it up with various types of insects. And if I got an insectivore gecko, I would want to diversify its diet, and I'd probably want to start breeding my own feeders, which I'm not really interested in right now. Motherfucker. So that's not something I'm quite prepared for right now. So I'm still looking at the New Caledonian geckos, because the care would be fairly similar to the gecko I already have now. So it would be easiest to just add another one to my routine, you know? It's like you can swap out the Pangea at the same time as I do the other one, spray it down in the same batch, and feeding would also be pretty easy to handle, because I tongue feed my girl. She's a vicious little hunter, so I'm sure she'd do fine hunting on her own, but it is a bonding activity right now. So she learns that I'm not a threat, food comes from me, yada yada. So we're tongue feeding the insects for her. And since, you know, what they do is they'll take a cricket, or they'll bite a bug, they'll eat it, and then they sit there and they lick their lips for a couple minutes. They're kissing. As they like finish swallowing and all of that. So it would actually be easy to, you know, give a bug to one gecko, and then while it's eating, you know, swap over and give a bug to the other one, and then kind of go back and forth, you know? So that would be super easy. So it really wouldn't add much complexity to the routine I already have established. The only real time drain would be socializing them separately. But that's not really a problem. So that's been my excuses as for why I should absolutely have another gecko. I'm like, listen, I can talk myself into this. Especially if I got them both into bioactive enclosures, and that would cut down a lot on cleaning times. Though right now I'm still trying to balance the bioactive that I have cycling right now, because I added the UVB bulb. Right? Bioactive is so cool. But I added a UVB lamp on top of the enclosure because I'd want to add a UVB lamp for her. But it seems to be trying to fry my plants with too much sun, so I'm like, let me see how I can manage this. Because I've got the temperature and humidity all right, but I think the UV bulb is adding a bit too much direct light for my low light plants. So they're not too thrilled with me about that. So I've been moving the lamp farther away and thinking about if there's a lower level a lamp bulb that I can get, because I don't actually want to fry my plants, but they're not thrilled right now, and I'm pretty sure it's the light. Like, it could also be that they're like over/underwatered, or they're just mad about being transplanted from their pots into this new environment. But right now the light feels like the most probable cause. So I've been trying to sort that because I want to get that all balanced, and I don't actually want to kill my plants. So that's what I've been thinking about recently, is keeping an eye on all of that. Mori, my carpet python, has been blue, apparently. I took her out yesterday. I was like, I should spend more time with you. So I dragged her out, and she was like, why you do this? I'm blue. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were blue until I was trying to take you out. But I got her out for a little bit. She wasn't the most thrilled, but she tolerated it. She was just a little huffy about it. But she's huffy about just about everything. And I got to weigh her yesterday, which I haven't been able to do in a while. She's big enough now that what I actually wound up doing was, I know she won't hold still, so I held her and then got on the scale and saw how much that weighed, and then after I put her back in her enclosure, then I weighed myself without her and then checked the difference. And my little baby girl weighs 6 pounds now. She is so big. And last time I checked, which was a couple months ago when I got a clean shed from her, she was a bit more than 7.5 feet long. But we'll see if I can get a good shed from her this time, and I can check again. So the last time she shed, I didn't get to it until it was already dry, and so it was all scrunched up. and so I couldn't really unroll it without, you know, damaging it. So that wouldn't be helpful for trying to measure it. So I couldn't do that, but we'll see if this time, if I can find it before it fully dries out so I can unroll it to its full length and measure it. Right. And yesterday was actually her birthday. And that's part of why I wanted to bring her out and check on her. But yeah, she is now 5 years old. So I've had her for about 4 years now. And she is such a cute baby. Even though she hates me right now because I finally put her on a coconut bedding substrate, which I hadn't done for a long time for various reasons. But I was like, you know what? We're finally gonna do this. So I gave her dirt floor and she hates it. She hates it so much. But she's learning to tolerate it. That's part of why I didn't do it before, was because I knew she would hate it. She doesn't want to, she doesn't want to burrow. She doesn't want to touch weird floor. I've taken her outside a couple of times and she's disgusted. She's like, the fuck is grass? I hate it. I don't want it to touch me anywhere. So she's been kind of similar with the dirt. But she's slowly adapting. And it'll also be easier for me to clean. Anyway, I will actually be right back. So y'all hang out and listen to the music for a bit. Okay, so it looks like I got here right as the ad started. Sorry about that. But there was something I wanted to respond to. Man, she only wants expensive stuff today. Nice. Okay, who else? I don't know. Nobody else is going to love you. You're so cute. Maybe you? You're a little scrunkly. Yeah. I love that wing color, but the rest is a little bit mismatchy. Jail. Michi. That's a good name. Also notice I have not gotten a single event chest since I started grinding. None. This music is so intense for fairgrounds. I know, right? That's so funny. Motherfucker. Stop. Match. I'm getting bullied in the fairgrounds. Not the fairgrounds, the Coliseum. I was on fairgrounds because of what you said. So we were just there, but we're not there anymore. Get toted. I know. Little bitch. I don't like you. I'm picky. I'll just keep re-rolling until there's something that I like. Like, I don't care. I give 0 fucks. There we go. No, none of you fucking dodge. Or else I will cry. Yeah, did I tell y'all I had an absolute boomer moment earlier? I was like, oh yeah, there's this phone call I should make. Which I never wound up making, by the way, because I forgot. But I was like, oh yeah, I should make this phone call. And then I was like, no, wait, hang on. Someone else is already using the phone, so I can't do that. And then I had a moment where I was like, they're on their cell phone, and I would be using my own separate, different cell phone. So I could, in fact, do that. Make a phone call while someone else was on the phone. I was like, oh my god. I'm so old. Not actually, but I'm sure you get the vibes. It's like, oh no, you can't place phone calls while you're using the internet. Oh wait. Landline moments, exactly. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, I haven't... That's not something that I've done or worried about before. It was just for some reason today that was a thing. So that was my mega cringe moment that I had today. Which I guess also proves that I am absolutely zonked from these headaches I've been having the last couple days. Because I am no longer on the daily preventative migraine medication that I've been taking, because the side effects were not great. But that means that I am getting more migraines, which is less than optimal, especially since I went to get back to streaming more often after taking that big long break. But when I'm already headachy, then screens is not good for me. I say despite deciding to stream today, even though I'm a bit headachy. But, you know. Sometimes life just be like this. We've actually gotten that guy up a lot, which is really nice. You little bitch. You're lag switching. Do not, you motherfucker. I hate getting confused. It's the worst thing. So fucking obnoxious. Match. Man, I am big tired, as I'm sure y'all will be shocked to hear. I was like, yeah, I should swap to a different game soon, because I don't really have much more fodder to level on hand. And I've been just grinding the Coliseum for like an hour and a half. But I'm like, man, but I'm also sleepy. We're just starting over. I hate those guys. Like, I could also just take a nap. So that's my continuous internal debate. Every time it is a struggle. Like, I could stream fun games, or I could go to sleep. Though I do really want to play more Stardew Valley. I think I finally came to a decision. As y'all know, I've been big struggling trying to decide who I want to romance in this run. And I was about, I don't know, 3 seconds from installing a poly mod, but I've been playing vanilla so far, so I'm like, I should probably just continue with vanilla, right? So I thought about it for a long time about who I'd want to romance. And I think I ultimately decided that I am going to steal Maru's girlfriend from her. I'm like, yep. That's what's gonna happen. So we're gonna try the penny route. Who I've never actually been the greatest fan of. Like, I've just hadn't really considered Penny a lot in the past, but I think it might be fun to try romancing her this time. And she is pretty cute. She's just it takes a bit to warm up with her. So I need to start grinding because I don't have a lot of affection points with her. But that's something we can start doing next time we play. Is carrying gifts for Penny on us when we run around. Because I have a bunch of artifacts that I've been saving to give to her. So I just need to remember to have them on me when I talk to her. Come over, give her a diamond twice a week. There's also some things that I figured out through being in hanging out in the Stardew Valley subreddit that I'm like, oh shit, I'm really dumb. I need to actually do that sort of thing. Because I just don't think about things a lot. This little bitch. And things that I just never figured out. And I'm like, oh wait, hang on. What do you mean? Like what you're actually supposed to use prismatic shards for. Instead of just donating one to the museum and then being like, okay, I guess I'll hang on to these for later. Because I don't really know what they're for. It's like, oh, wait, no, hang on. I can use these to get stuff. So I need to actually do that. Now I need to romance Penny. You little bitch. And that sort of thing. Do not confuse you, motherfucker. Can I do this? Yes. Now I need to double tap before I can take you up. God, I hate Contus. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work for me. You? Oh my god. These little bitches. Do not. Oh my god. I hate it here. How dare they crit me like 4 times. That's so obnoxious. Come on. Give me what I want. That's not what I want. This game hates me. I guess. Okay, you're almost level 10. You're getting there anyway. You're so close. You're getting towards 25. You're pretty goddamn close. which is awesome. Nice. Oh my god, what? I took you out of there. Hello? What the heck? Nice. Big sleepy. Not off to a good start with this. My luck is not being very good right now. Fuck. I'm getting bullied by this game in every single way that it possibly can. This is unfair. Alright, then let me actually open these two. Ready? Because I like to do that to keep track of how many I have. Nope, that's... oh my god. I want a bunch of copies of the jeans. I always like to collect those. I just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. Or I might just wind up buying them because they're annoying. So we'll see. And I already hatched my nests, I already gathered, I already bonded with my familiars. Yeah. I think that's about all I really need to do, or have the energy to do today. Let me convert some food over. I have a bunch of plants, so even though I have a lot going, I'm gonna just leave them. I went to... some of them I went to gather up to a 99 stack and then sell, rather than use it myself, because I'll get plenty of plants from Coliseum and all of that. I know that's not very many, but I might as well, right? Keep everything uniform, consistent. moles. Meat is always good to have on hand. I need a lot of insects right now. Tokyo gecko, leopard gecko, tree gecko, cave gecko. Those are all very cute. Sad to eat them, but oh well. I should sell these. But that's a problem for future me. I'll do that later on. A solid bit of food. You're not at 99 yet. So, yeah. And I know I have so much food. I should just use a bunch of it, but I like to hang on to it in case Graham wants it. Because I like money more. And I have decent amounts of food. As you can see, it's not like I'm out. It's just I like to keep above a certain threshold. Because it makes me happier, more comfortable. I know I don't need plants, but listen. Nice. God, I have so much food. It's rare. And for some reason I just never use that kind of thing. I'm like, no, listen, it was like special, even though I have a thousand of this. I'm like, no, I can't use it. It's not possible. Maybe I'll sell it someday. I'm sure there are people who like to collect that sort of thing. Nice. 69. Not any longer. Sad. It's the kissing fish. Got just a little bit of food today. That's what you get for grinding in the Coliseum. One day jar. And then I don't know why I hang on to those. It just happens. Dubia roaches. And I'm still used to that stuff being new, so my brain doesn't want to use it. Okay. I should name you. Oh yeah, I meant to... At the beginning of the stream, I meant to look at you and see what type of tertiary gene would be nice. Interesting. Not the worst. Cute. Also not the worst, but not my favorite, I don't think. Slimy. Okay, runes might not be too bad. It's kind of subtle. Noah. 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 Oh boy. That's not bad. Noah. 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 Interesting. But, not gonna be it. No. No. Not the worst. Cute, but probably not. Don't love it. No. Eh. Nah. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot that I love. I might like Sparkle. Though I often feel like things like Sparkle are a bit of a cop-out. It's like, yeah, I don't know what to put on the dragon, so we'll just make it Glimmer. Actually, I don't love the way that goes on the tail. Lice was pretty good. I'm a bit sad we can't see the full ombre of the wings. No. I don't want to cover up the cute stripy tail. I don't like that. That's not the worst, but I don't love it. And Flex was not optimal for me either. It's not that bad, but... worst. Might be either lace or sparkle. Go ahead and save these. Just so that I have them on hand to remember. Okay. I think that is everything. For real this time. I should name him, but I don't have the brain cells for that right now. Yeah. Okay. Then I actually might go ahead and call it for a bit of a short stream today. Because as much as I want to play Stardew Valley, I also have other things I should do, which largely is me not telling you that I want to take a nap. But I also do have some phone calls to make and all that, and I haven't eaten lunch yet. So we're gonna go ahead and end it a bit early today. But thank you all so much for hanging out. You wanna join the Discord? It's over here. If you miss a stream, I upload them to YouTube about 48 hours afterwards. And what else is there? Oh yeah. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that technically exists. And if you want the playlist that I use, then that's over here. Alrighty. Then thank you so much for hanging out.